All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So in this video, we're going to count down 5 bodybuilders who became successful actors. So starting with number 5, we have Reg Park. So Reg Park was a bodybuilder that competed primarily in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and was well known for being a mentor to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Arnold Schwarzenegger cited him as being, pretty much his idol. So this was basically the inspiration for Arnold to become a bodybuilder. So Reg Park won the prestigious NABBA Mr. Universe competition 3 times in 1951, 1958, and 1965. He also won the prestigious Mr. Britain and Mr. Europe title. So as a bodybuilder, he was a pretty tall bodybuilder. He was 6'1" and between 214 and 225 pounds in competition condition, and his off-season weight was between 225 and 250 pounds. As an actor, his most famous role was as Hercules. He starred in several Hercules movies throughout the 60s primarily. So in 1961, he was in Hercules Conquers Atlantis and Hercules the Captive Woman in 1963. He was also in Hercules the Haunted World. He was also in Hercules Prisoner of Evil and also Hercules the Avenger. So that was pretty much the main thing he was known for, was playing Hercules. And so he's probably one of the most successful bodybuilders to become an actor, but probably not one of the most successful actors that was a bodybuilder. But he did have a very good bodybuilding history and a pretty decent acting history as well. So in number 4, we have Steve Reeves. So Steve Reeves was a very successful bodybuilder and a very successful actor as well. At one point in time, he was actually the highest paid actor in Europe. And in bodybuilding, he pretty much won every title that there was to win. So he won the 1947 Mr. America competition. He won the 1948 Mr. Universe competition. He also won the 1948 Mr. World competition. And then in 1950, he won the NABBA Mr. Universe competition. So this guy basically won the big 3, all the best titles that you can win: the Mr. Universe, the Mr. World, and the Mr. America. So a very successful bodybuilder. And as I said, in acting, he was very successful as well. Now, similar to Reg Park, he actually was also famous for playing Hercules. He was in several Hercules films, including Hercules in 1957, Hercules Unchained in 1959, and then he also played the role of Goliath in Goliath and the Barbarians in 1959, and he would also play Sandokan the Great in the 1963 movie Sandokan the Great. He also played several similar roles, kind of like old barbarian roles or pirate roles, or old warrior type of roles. So that's pretty much kind of the role that he was typecast in. And he basically claimed to be a lifetime natural bodybuilder throughout the course of his career. He was 6'1" and only about 213 pounds on stage. And he was also one of the guys that popularized the infamous vacuum pose, where you basically suck in your stomach and show off how small your waist is. So he's one of the guys that really popularized that pose. So he's a really iconic figure in bodybuilding and a very successful actor as well. So in number 3, we have a guy by the name of David Prowse. Now, a lot of you have probably never heard of David Prowse, but he's actually the guy that played Darth Vader. So a lot of people think that James Earl Jones actually played Darth Vader, but he really just played the voice of Darth Vader. The actor that actually played in the suit of Darth Vader was a guy by the name of David Prowse. So David Prowse was actually a competitive weightlifter and a competitive bodybuilder that actually competed in the same Mr. Universe competition as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, and other guys that were really big in the bodybuilding industry. And he became very good friends with Joe Weider and Arnold. And he actually worked for them for a while, doing advertisements for Weider's magazines. But this was actually the guy that ended up playing Darth Vader. So this guy was 6'7", 250 pounds on stage, and close to 300 pounds in the off season. So George Lucas was really looking for a big strongman type of guy to fill out the frame of Darth Vader, because you obviously didn't want a short guy to be playing Darth Vader, because you wanted someone that was going to look very big, very tall, and very intimidating in that cape. So that's how he ended up casting David Prowse for that role. So a lot of people don't know this, so I wanted to put him in this category. Although he was not that successful as a bodybuilder, he's probably one of the most successful actors that was once a bodybuilder, because Darth Vader is pretty much the biggest role that you can have. He also played a role in the movie A Clockwork Orange, and he was also the Green Cross Code Man in the UK. So we have David Prowse in number 3. So in number 2 on the list, we have Lou Ferrigno. Now, Lou Ferrigno was a pretty incredible bodybuilder. This guy stood about 6'5", 285 pounds on stage in the 70s. And in 1992, when he made his comeback to bodybuilding, he weighed 315 pounds on stage at the Olympia. So this guy is a two-time IFBB Mr. Universe winner, and he's also most noteworthy for being in a 1975 bodybuilding docudrama, Pumping Iron, where that kind of followed his rivalry with Arnold Schwarzenegger leading up to the 1975 Mr. Olympia competition, where Lou Ferrigno would place third. The year prior, in 1974, he was actually the runner-up at the Olympia, so that's pretty much Lou's competitive bodybuilding career. Like I said, he would come back in 1992, which was about 20 years after he had last competed, and he would place 12th at the 1992 Olympia. He would place 10th at the 1993 Olympia. Then he would do the Masters Olympia in 1994 and place second. So obviously, Lou Ferrigno is most well known for his role as the Incredible Hulk, which he started playing in 1977. Like Steve Reeves and Reg Park before him, he also played Hercules. He also played Sinbad, and he was featured in several other movies, and he was also known for playing a role on the TV show on CBS, The King of Queens, which is one of my favorite TV shows, by the way. So, semi-successful bodybuilder. Mr. Universe, like I said, is a very big bodybuilding title, so it's very prestigious that he won that. But obviously, he made a lot more money in acting than he made in bodybuilding, so that's why he's number 2 on this list. So number 1 should be pretty obvious. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger in number 1. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger is obviously one of the most successful actors of all time, period. Not just including bodybuilders that became actors, but in the acting world, his net worth is over $300 million. So very successful actor. He was also the 38th governor of California. And in bodybuilding, he was one of the most successful bodybuilders of all time as well, winning the Olympia a record 7 times. At the time that he had won 7, that was the record for Olympia wins. It is now 8. But at that time, he was the best bodybuilder on the face of the earth in the 1970s and 1980s. So like 4 of the 5 other bodybuilders on this list, Arnold also played Hercules in New York in 1970. He also starred in Pumping Iron, similar to Lou Ferrigno. Obviously, we know he played Conan the Barbarian. He was in Conan the Destroyer. He played Terminator. He was in Commando. He was in Predator. He was in The Running Man. He was in Twins. He was in Kindergarten Cop. He was in Total Recall. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If we look at more recent movies, he was in The Expendables 1, 2, and 3. He was in Terminator 3. He was in Terminator Genesis. He was in a movie called Maggie. It was about a zombie, his zombie daughter. Jingle All the Way and Batman and Robin. He played Freeze. He's just in an endless amount of movies, made a massive amount of money, and he is easily the most successful bodybuilder that became an actor of all time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 list. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed already. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.